An Introduction to the Soviet Experience. On January 23, 1991, the flag of the Union of Soviet Socialist Republics was lowered from the Kremlin for the last time. In its place, the flag of Tsarist Russia was raised. Soviet socialism was replaced by capitalist shock therapy. Drug use skyrocketed. Suicides were rampant. Morgues could no longer bury the dead, as now burial was a commodity. Workers' savings became worthless overnight. Prostitution and human trafficking became endemic, and people's standard of living declined. Meanwhile, a new class of oligarchs became the capitalist class, amassed vast wealth and power, and seized the means of production such as factories, facilities, and natural resources. All were formerly in the hands of the working class. Previously, Soviet citizens were taken care of from birth to the grave. The Soviet government fulfilled what Roosevelt's New Deal dreamed of, but couldn't sustain. The Soviet Union provided housing, security, job guarantees, education, and the promise of a fulfilling life. People in the Soviet Union did not fear losing their homes or health benefits due to the loss of employment. They did not worry about paying a premium for a health insurance policy that they could lose at any moment or would not deliver on care promised. They did not fear having to take out loans for life's essentials, such as education or housing. Paid vacations were guaranteed for 1 month a year, whereby both government and unions had sanitarium rest facilities. The state provided free childcare with no long waiting lists. The state companies offered on-site childcare facilities while parents worked. Suffering from the fascist horrors of World War II, Soviet youth were guaranteed an environment of world peace. The Soviet Union was the center of the international communist movement since its formation in 1922. Soviet socialism was the definition of real socialism. From the Paris Commune, the Soviet Union was the example of a state where the working class and peasants seized power. The Soviet Union was the protector of all socialist societies in the world. No one would mess with any socialist society militarily as long as the Soviet Union was around. The Communist International, known as the Comintern, became the center of unity for the world communist movement. While the Soviet Union was around, especially in Stalin's time, the Soviet Union created a powerful, monolithic, international communist movement with unity of thought and purpose. That monolithic stature created absolute strength in the world communist movement. All the Comintern Congresses created a unified army against the counter-revolutionary inroads of both monopoly capitalism and fascism itself. The Soviet Union followed a principled Leninist line in respect to self-determination of nations and assisted in national liberation movements. Today, the Soviet Union as a nation, its history and legacy, is more important than ever in the current era. Workers' rights legislation in the West was influenced by the Soviet Union. Capitalist governments around the world have attempted to imitate the Soviet Union with legislation like Social Security, Medicare, housing, and urban development, all to prevent workers from going to socialism. Currently, ultra-left and right deviation influences in the world communist movement have left it rudderless and adrift. Capitalists today slander the Soviet Union and its legacy in order to bury the socialist solution to the economic evils of capitalism that affect the working class. Hard-won benefits and rights, which had been bitterly fought for by the workers, are being curtailed or cut entirely now that there is no Soviet Union. Communists must study the Soviet Union in its entirety for both inspiration and lessons on the way forward. The Education Department of the Party of Communists USA and the U.S. Friends of the Soviet People present an educational series that will keep alive the memory of socialism's economic solutions to the evils of capitalism. Look forward to this series on a variety of topics.